I might look like I'm at the airport, but I'm actually at the National Detection Dog Program's training facility. Here, an elite bunch of dogs go through months of training to become part of the Border Protection Force. My name's Sarah Jones, you're watching Dog Jobs Australia. We've made our way out to the Australian Border Force training facility in Melbourne's far north. Here is where several programs exist, training and employing the terrific working dogs who help keep ports across the country safe. Today, I'm catching up with Kate to find out more.
I'm the development team leader for juvenile development, and we actually develop and assess puppies from 4 months of age till about 12 months of age. I was actually initially a foster carer. So
wonderful.
Yeah, my family and I fostered, I think, about 5 or 6 dogs. And then when I became old enough to get a job, I actually applied to be a casual kennel hand, and then slowly worked my way up until I became a development officer for ABF.
Detector dogs specialise in a variety of areas, such as detecting illicit drugs, firearms, explosives, currency and tobacco. During our visit, we were lucky to get to witness several training demonstrations.
The training starts quite young, so generally about 3 days of age.
Oh wow, well, that's a lot younger than I was expecting.
Yes.
Okay.
Very young. So it starts with minimal things like body handling. So we do a lot of touching with the newborn puppies, just getting them used to people, smells and being handled. The early development team do a lot of socialisation after that. So at around 3 weeks of age, that would be when they start to be introduced to new surfaces. We change the sounds that they're exposed to, and they obviously do a lot more developing of their play drive until they head home with their foster carers at 9 weeks. So they actually come in for their formal assessments with juvenile development at the age of 4 months, and there we help develop their play drive, their hunt drive, and then we assess their environmental stability.
A key part of the detector dog training and development is their connection to a dedicated handler. I sat down with Kirsten, who has the amazing job of working a little more intimately with some of these special dogs.
So you work with one dog?
So I currently have 2.
Okay.
So I have Murray, who I came through the training with, and he's a currency and firearms dog. And then I've got Apollo, who's a narcotic dog.
So currency, narcotics and firearms are your lot. What other sense do the detection dogs track?
So we have tobacco dogs and we have the explosive dogs as well. And that's to cover, I suppose, across the board of the jobs and the tasks.
Yeah, because obviously
required.
when I think of border dogs, I think of the airport, but it's not just the airport.
No, so the airport's probably the most obvious for people, and they would see us floating about. But we're talking about pretty much all the ports. Talking about, you know, the cruise ships that come in, the cargo ships that come in, the private jets that come in.
Oh yeah.
But also we're talking about freight as well. It's a tool that we can use to do large amount of screening. So obviously you think about all the parcels and cargo that come in and out of the country. And then you've got post as well. So
it's a huge job.
Because of their impressive sense of smell, detector dogs provide vital assistance in maintaining border security, which is a massive task. What special little noses.
They move pretty quickly. It can screen large amounts in a space of no time, really. But we also work with partner agencies as well. So we work with closely with AFP and Big Pole as well.
It's an important job and one our four-legged friends are more than qualified for. More Dog Jobs Australia after the break. The Detector Dog program was first established in 1968 with 2 black Labradors, followed by 2 German Shepherds. These original detector dogs were first used to detect all kinds of illicit drugs. And by the late 1970s, the program expanded to establish its first training unit based in Canberra.
You might have seen one of the puppies, Itzel, who was running through our hall. So that's just getting him used to different surfaces. So we had him walking on some mesh, we had him at a height. We were asking him to jump up onto things and walk over unstable surfaces. So that is part of what we look for in a dog that's confident and willing to please and is asking for what to do next, and also showing some initiative in wanting to jump up and walk and investigate. And you do see them switch on, a lot of the dogs, when they get into a search area or the harness goes on. You can see that change in their behaviour.
Body language,
yeah, which is exactly what we want. So we know that the dogs love what they do, otherwise they wouldn't, get out of the car for us.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how engaged and excited these detector dogs must be every day on the job. So many things to sniff, so many things to search. It's a dog's dream come true.
So Itzel was he around 4 months old?
4 months of age.
Yeah. What's the next step up from there?
The next assessment is 6 months of age. So we do the environmental stability exercise as well. So moving surfaces, stairs, heights, jumping, confined spaces, noises. We'll actually do a lot of our assessments off-site. So we travel to Melbourne Airport and we take them airside, so they get familiar with the sights and sounds of the airport, which is what they're potentially going to be working in.
I'm interested in hearing more about the currency detection dogs, and I hear Kirsten is the perfect dog handler to ask.
So we initially train them on Australian currency, but what we're after is, I suppose, over a certain threshold. So we don't want a dog ideally sitting to wallets.
Yeah.
So we're looking for $10,000 Australian dollars or more. So it's more about the amount of odour that the dog's trained on. And once they get rewarded on that, that's pretty much, they know, yep, that's what I want, I get paid for that.
Now, if only I could find a way to sniff out $10,000. Look how much fun this little guy's having.
We do a lot of hunt exercises too. So you would have seen a little bit of tug of war. So that's helping develop their play drive. So they're just desire to want to chase and catch and play with the dummy, which is their reward. Once we increase their play drive, then we can look at translating that into some sort of hunt or search for their reward, which is where we do a lot of teasing and throwing and just hoping that the dogs will use their nose to find the dummy.
So quite a lot of training goes into the actual dummy. I thought maybe you'd be bringing in scents earlier, but it seems like there's a lot of building blocks until they're ready to that scent.
Yeah, so we do have to make sure that they've got the drive for their reward initially. So a lot of it is just dependent on whether they have that motivation to find their reward. They're always going to use their noses because they're dogs and Labradors. It's just making sure that they have the intensity to want to do it for us, and then we can work on making things a little bit more challenging for them.
We'll return to the Australian Border Force Detector Dog facility after the break. You're watching Dog Jobs Australia. Over 2 seasons, our little show has gotten to tell the stories of a huge range of wonderful working dogs. From seagull inspectors, therapy dogs, truffle hunters, right through to 4-legged bellhops, we've met them all. As our series nears its end, now's a great time to look back on a few of our favourites. Situated on the eastern side of the Melbourne CBD, the Park Hyatt is one of only 36 Park Hyatts worldwide. Its leafy surrounds and exceptional facilities aren't the only reason you might want to spend a night here. It's home to one of the world's furriest bellhops, the adorable and well-loved Mr. Walker.
So I'm here at the beautiful Park Hyatt Hotel in Melbourne with Lee Shepherd, our hotel manager, and of course, canine ambassador to the hotel, Mr. Walker. Hard at work, I can see.
Yes, always hard at work. Yeah, nothing stresses him out, Sarah.
So Lee, how long have you been working here at the Park Hyatt?
I've been here for 3 years.
Okay, so you've been working with Mr. Walker for those last 3 years. Are you a dog person naturally?
Yes,
Okay.
always been a dog lover. So it was great to have Walker as a great bonus that came with the job.
And I know you mentioned these books, so he has a series of books.
Yes.
The Mr. Walker series. We've got the Tales of Mr. Walker, and this is like an anthology of little stories about his life.
That's right. This was all about Mr. Walker coming to the Park Hyatt and his life here and the adventures that he gets up to in and around the hotel.
Yeah. And obviously it's aimed at kids, so it's a bit sort of fun, a bit silly.
It is. It's beautiful, and it's all illustrated with lovely watercolours. Really nice little book.
Yeah, I think we've even got some fan art from him here, so let's see if we can dig some of this out.
It was actually, Sarah, last week was Walker's 6th birthday, and so these were the kids, I believe, at Rowville Primary School, and they wrote some beautiful birthday cards for him.
Oh, so they must have been reading the book and were so inspired by Mr. Walker that they wrote him some birthday cards. And look at this,
That's right.
some amazing handiwork there. Oh, really good. So what does a typical day look like for Mr. Walker?
So he comes into work with me in the morning, and then at 10:30 he sits out the front. He's obviously seen someone collecting a
someone's
tray
got
of
food. Yep, so that's what that is. Off he goes.
So 10:30 he sits out the front, 10:30 till 12. And then again in the afternoon from 3:30 till 5. So you'll see at the front of the hotel, he's got his big bed where he sits, and guests can come and spend some time with him and give him a scratch and a pat and have a chat with him. And it's just lovely, relaxed atmosphere.
a nice gentle day for him.
A really nice welcome to the hotel to have Walker sitting there. As I said, we've got this beautiful big bed that we made for him, but he just prefers to lie straight across the ground at the front doors. And
front and centre.
That's right, and be a big trip hazard.
Being the welcome mat.
If you happen to visit the museum and you spot Bailey wearing his yellow vest, he's likely hard at work and on patrol. Bailey is a true professional, so he likes to limit his pats till after he's clocked off for the day. Not only does Bailey keep the seagulls at bay, but he also works pretty hard improving the working lives of his many colleagues. That includes his best workmate, Mona.
I'm here with Mona Hussain, who's a Client Services Officer here at the museum, and I hear that you have a really special relationship with Bailey.
I like to think so. I first started working here a year ago. He rushed up to me almost like a high five, and since then I've been taking him for walks on my lunch break, and me and Bailey are friends.
That's wonderful.
Great affinity for animals generally, but Bailey is a special friend of mine. I never owned a dog personally, so he's my surrogate dog.
Right, so he's the first dog you've had that really strong
That's right, me
connection
personally.
with.
Yes.
That's pretty magical.
I like to give him little massages. Like humans, he gets stressed, so little massages here, and it sort of makes him less stressed and happy. And
I'm sure that stress relief goes both ways
It
at
does.
the office if you're having a hard day.
That's right, to go take him for a walk in the fresh air with the beautiful surroundings we have at the Australian National Maritime Museum. We go to the park, and if he sees a stick, he's away. He just loves sticks. He's happy to roll around in the grass, and same here. Not that I roll around in the grass, but I'm happy to take him for a walk there.
So you're not involved in the actual training of Bailey and taking him out to chase the seagulls? Are you mostly the fun side of things?
I'm the fun side of things, that's right. I get the best
what a
part of
great
the job.
opportunity.
That's right. I do give him treats. He does like his little chicken sticks. So I guess you can call me the treat person.
Oh, in charge of treats.
That's right.
For the CEO of seagulls.
That's right, and chocolate for humans, so they know where to come.
So obviously you're not always getting to hang out with Bailey during the day at your work. What does a regular day look like for you?
Unfortunately, I don't always hang out with him all day. I would like to. So when I get to work, first thing I do is we have to go through security to check ourselves in, and Bailey, that's where he stays normally. And I always say, "Hi, Bailey." I just pat him on his little paws.
Yeah.
And then after I have my work done, I go on my lunch break, and I like to take him for a walk.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. That distresses me as well, because my job is dealing with a lot of customers, and it's a good job, but sometimes there are some testing customers, and we have to remain polite, obviously, with them. And so my way of de-stressing is taking Bailey for a walk.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. And obviously we're right here in Sydney Harbour. Does he have any fans? Does he ever get recognised out there on the walk?
Yes, children especially. He's got his Instagram, he's on there, and they ask specifically, is Bailey here today? Is he working today? And I'll check with security, and if he is, yes, we let them know. But when I take him for walks as well, he's a bit of a celebrity, and they come up to him and they'd like to pet him. And he's very good with people, us humans.
Well, he lives a pretty charmed life, it sounds like.
He does. Bless him. Bless him. They do say a dog's a man's best and a woman's best friend.
Yeah.
Yes, and Bailey definitely fulfils that role.
Well, it is getting close to lunchtime now, so do you mind if I join you on one of these walks?
I would love to. Let's do it. Come on, Bailey. Yes. Here you go.
Hello, I'm Jeff from Story Dogs, and this is Wally. He's come to help you and help me read this book to you. Do you think you enjoy doing that? Yeah. Yeah. And what do you think the book's called? Space. Give me space.
Well, I'm here with Jeff, and Jeff, this little sleepy guy, is Wally.
Yes, he's our little cavvy.
He's very small, isn't he?
He's
a little guy, but he's not a puppy?
No, he's 3 years old. Surprise.
Yep.
Everybody thinks he's a puppy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, everyone pulls him up wherever we go. He's great.
And he's relatively new to this program?
Yes, yeah, we started at Star of the Sea in February, March, yeah. So going really well. And then we've got a black hole over here. And what else do you think's in the picture? Maybe a telescope, yeah? What else have we got? Yeah. A bin, yeah.
What interested you about the Reading Dogs program?
I wanted to do something for the local school because I have 5 grandchildren there.
Wow, okay.
And we're, trying to work out something to do, and I heard about Story Dogs on the radio and inquired from there, and then did a few tests and things and made sure that Wally was okay for the program.
What sort of things were you looking at with Wally?
Well, whether he's calm and he doesn't cause any problems.
Seems pretty calm.
Yeah, well, I've just retired. I was a pharmacist out at McKellar Centre, and Wally used to come with me to work a couple of days a week. And he used to be a mascot, and go around and greet some of the patients and sit on their laps and all that sort of stuff.
So he's a hard-working dog.
Oh yeah,
used to working.
Yeah, he loves it. So,
and I guess between 5 grandchildren and all the customers of your pharmacy, he's had a lot of exposure to kids as well.
Yes, yeah, he loves it. Yeah, well, we've got 5 grandchildren at the school, and we've got 10 in total. So,
5 little ones in addition.
Yeah, so we've got some other little ones. Yeah, so they all enjoy Wally's company. Yeah, and he's really calm with them.
And do you think he enjoys the program as well?
He seems to. Yeah. When we arrive at the school, he seems to get pretty excited and enjoys all the kids coming around and patting him. He hates a cuddle.
Yes, you can tell.
But no, he enjoys it.
And was there any particular reason you felt like literacy was an important thing?
Yeah, well, my mum is 90 and she left school at 11.
Wow.
And she can't read or write, which we only found out later. Yeah. She had all these strategies that she used to get by. She was very clever.
Yeah.
She's got a really good memory in that.
Yeah, and so she compensated.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you worked this out?
Well, she was 60, so it's 30 years ago. So I was in my mid-30s.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and just always felt there was something, but never really knew about it. So when we started doing it, I was saying to Mum, because I ring her every day, and I said, I'm going to school, I'm going to do these Story Dogs, and just to help children read. And she said, I wish that was around when I was at school. Yeah. So, that's a bit of a buzz. Yeah.
And how magical for her to be seeing her great-grandchildren at this primary school, having all this support.
Yeah, it's something never had. I struggled with reading when I was at primary school. I was in a class of 50. Yeah. And you could sneak through without...
Get lost.
You get totally lost. Yeah. I got to high school and really struggled. I was lucky that one of the librarians there took me under her wing and encouraged me to read. So it was hard work though. One day, Olna will become an astronaut. She will leave the Earth behind. But for now, she is an astronaut in waiting. You must be this tall to be an astronaut. Have you ever been to those rides where you've got to be a certain height?
Yes.
Isn't that frustrating? Yeah.
So we noticed we saw you run a session with Wally, and Wally did a lot of sleeping through the session.
Oh, yes.
But you and the other volunteers, you have a great way of engaging the children when you read.
Thank you.
Is that for you? Was that kind of instinctive to do that?
Like with the 10 children, grandchildren,
Yeah.
my wife encourages me to read
Yeah.
a little bit to them,
Yeah.
and she's the power behind it. You know, she's always read to our children and grandchildren, and she's just encouraged me to get involved. So initially, I wasn't big on it, but
A bit shy, maybe?
yeah, a bit
Yeah,
nervous about
yeah.
it. Yeah, so yeah, no, it's just come along.
I guess,
suppose.
do you think maybe having been a child that struggled a bit with reading to start as well, you have a bit of that empathy for
Pretty
the
much,
kids?
yeah. You know, like if they can get a joy out of their reading early, it just makes it so much easier.
Yeah, and what a wonderful way to bring joy to reading, having a little mate here.
What do you think the blue planet was?
The Earth.
Well done, everybody. That was a good one, wasn't it? Suspended in space, her beautiful blue home, now shimmering even more brightly than before.
Well, thanks so much.
No worries.
I guess we'll let Wally get on with this busy nap.
Yeah, he's just about passed out.
Yeah, he's had a big day.
He's working hard.
Thanks,
great.
Jeff.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you.
Back to the Detector dogs. This initiative also involves a foster care program, and I was keen to find out more from Kate about how this works.
So foster caring, it sounds like that's really important to keep the organisation going.
It is, and we're actually after foster carers right now.
Okay.
So we are doing a recruitment drive, so that is looking for people that live in the Melbourne area or the Greater Geelong area. We do provide everything for the foster carers, so the dogs will get food, equipment, we've got all of our veterinary staff on site. We offer boarding facilities, so if the foster carers happen to go away, the foster carers will actually drop the dogs into the centre and we look after them. And we also give them a lot of feedback. So once they come in for their assessments, they get feedback on how their dogs performed, and they also get mentored throughout the process, whether there's anything that we need a little bit of improvement or anything that they can work on.
I mean, who could resist?
So if people are interested, where would they go to find out more about being a foster carer?
They can go to the ABF website, which is www.abf.gov.au, and if they search Detector Dog Program, there'll be some more information on there. There's a little bit of a process to get involved, so they do need to submit an application. Someone will come out just to see whether the backyard is suitable, and then we obviously can go from there.
So what about the final exam? What happens when they're ready to join the force?
We generally look at their eligibility for different agencies at the 10-month mark. So we'll base that on all their prior assessments, but their 10-month assessment is their formal grading as to whether we think they'll be suited to us, Border Force, or potentially another agency.
From such adorable beginnings to such an important day job. It's really been a treat getting to meet these detector dogs in training and the handlers that make it all possible. Before I go, I think there's time for one last cuddle and a belly scratch. It's been a really exciting day here at the National Detector Dog Program's training facility, but we better get to work, I think. Thanks for watching Dog Jobs Australia. you.